Hello, everyone. Another update on the stock market. How is everyone? Excited? Enjoying the roller coaster? So the reason why I wanted to have this update is because there's a lot going on out there in the world. And it's not only the war in Russia and Ukraine, it's the entire stock market is kind of going up and down, which is actually not unusual for January, February. It is, there are always these, it's like summer, winter, spring, and autumn. There are seasons on the stock market, okay? Especially when people worry a lot or when people panic, slightly different rules apply to the stock market. What's going on at the moment is a global panic because there is a war. So people rather have the cash under their pillow or under their mattress than in a stock or in a company, which actually has nothing to do with what a company is doing. People go, okay, let's just sell. And it's not the individuals, okay? It's those big hedge funds who have, like, I don't know, $500 million invested in one stock. And these investment funds, okay, these big corporations, they function from, I have to reduce my liability, okay, because it really sells well to customers when someone goes, oh, I sold it all to just secure what was left. And then later on, they buy in again. This is how they function from. But these decisions are not made by individual. This is all programmed by algorithms. Okay, so the way that works is when certain parameters change in the world, the computer system calculates it, and if something goes down, they have to sell. So it's not an intuitive, it's not a choice that an individual who has awareness is making. It's simple computer programs. And this is why in situations when panic occurs, people sell everything, and it has nothing to do with the value of the company. However, the share price of a share of a company always determines the value. And this is where the real life completely diverges from what is going on in reality and on the stock market. So what you see at the moment going on is people selling, obviously, stock because they panic. But you should know one thing about money. You cannot destroy money, okay? You always read in the newspaper how much money got lost, got destroyed, how much the value of a company decreased. Money, and you know that, is energy, okay? And money cannot be destroyed. Money can only be moved to someone else. So the question is not how much money got destroyed, how much money did we lose? No, to whom did all the money move? So it's just, it can only move sideways, okay? Either this one has it or the other one. You can't destroy money because you can't destroy energy. You can only transform energy. Okay, just be aware of that, and just don't buy into the panic. That's what I was noticing a lot in the last 2 weeks, especially living in Vienna, which is very close to the Ukraine. Kiev is just one flight hour away. It's 400 kilometers. And I remember years ago, I had a project in Kiev. I was traveling there twice a week. So it's really, really close. And I have to admit, it was getting uncomfortable seeing all these videos and going, wow, I know this place. I've taken this subway. I've been there, and suddenly it's war. It's kind of a beyond, okay? And those people who don't have access, who don't know the tools of access consciousness, who don't know how to access their awareness or to deal with all this panic, of course they panic too, and then they want to protect themselves. So my point of view is just don't buy into it, don't worry. And even if this is a very serious and sad matter, you still can make money. You can still make conscious choices, because you joining everyone being in panic and joining everyone losing everything, you won't create greater. So it is okay to even use this situation to your advantage. You can now make conscious choices and go, okay, what's really going on? Okay. So when you normally look, and I think you all have experience with the Access Consciousness tools, if you know the tool, okay, what's the hidden agenda? What's going on behind it? If you ask, okay, what's behind that? It's panic. So you can ask each and every stock, okay, is this a loss based on panic, or is the business really going down? Okay, that's a good question to ask. Okay, business, whatever, wherever you have your shares in, will you be fine in 5 years? Okay, you know the tool. If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? And if I don't, what will my life be like in 5 years? You can use this tool now. Okay, beautiful little stock portfolio. If I keep you, how will you be in 5 years? If I sell you, how will you be in 5 years? Tap into the future of the stocks you own, of the stocks you want to buy. And please, this is now the time. It's actually a brilliant practice to go, okay, let's follow your knowing instead of following mainstream. I noticed that a lot of stocks went down where I go like, wait a minute, if I really look at what's going on in the world, okay, Ukraine and Russia, for Europe, this is where all the oil and gas comes from. Not really the oil, but the gas. And Europe, we have this strong winter season. All the gas pipelines, they either come from Russia or from the Ukraine. The one pipeline project that never happened, the Nabucco project, where they wanted an alternative source, an alternative way to get oil and gas to Europe through Turkey, that never happened. So what Putin will do for sure, he will turn off oil and gas just to torture Europe. But what does that mean on the long run? First of all, summer is coming, so it's not that bad. And secondly, the world will need to look at alternatives. Okay, so what is an alternative to oil and gas? Is it probably solar? Is it alternative energy? Is it batteries? So all these, I see it as a possibility. Okay, is it fun to depend on Russia? No, not as long as a new version of Hitler is in charge. Okay, and from my point of view, Hitler was insane, and so is Putin. And all this, okay, let's sit down and negotiate. Bullshit. He doesn't want to negotiate. He wants war. He's an idiot. Okay, he's totally beyond. He enjoys this. So what is required now? Okay, what is required now? What will be required in the future? And don't try to come to conclusion and go, oh, this is what it will be. Be in question. Wait a minute. Will that be required in the future? And then you will tap into, okay, maybe this, maybe that. And then follow these energies where you go, okay, what technologies are out there? What alternatives are there? And this is where you can now start also looking and reading newspapers and articles. This is actually the time a lot, these incidents, people don't really publish anything about it because the reason is sad, okay? They started a war, okay? There are people being killed and there are already 500,000 refugees at the border to Poland trying to get into the European community. All this is really sad. So in this reality, it's very inappropriate to talk about what can we learn from this? How can we change this? I don't want to say how can we use it to our advantage, but what can we do different in the future so that we don't depend on Russia anymore? This is the European question, but it's very inappropriate to talk about that in public. So you will need to dig a little deeper and do some research. You will find some blogs and some authors writing about it going, hey, do you get now how we depend on Russia? And that the same applies to China, okay? Everything is produced in China and shipped over to the rest of the world. And we also have these big container problems. That's because of COVID. I don't know if you know it, but when COVID occurred and when the first lockdown occurred in March 2020, everything was shipped, but they had no staff to actually take care of the containers in all the ports where the containers arrived. So they were just offloading the containers, but they wouldn't send back the empty ones. They had no staff. Everybody was in quarantine. Everybody was sick. So China just produced more containers. And now all the ports in the world are full. And ships are waiting for hours and for days and for weeks to offload their containers. So there is a whole, it's a whole system of issues the world has to deal with right now, where the economy goes, oh, fuck, it doesn't work. But the world won't stop turning because of a container problem, because of shipment problems, because of coronavirus, okay? And it won't stop turning because of the war. We've been through Corona and through COVID for 2 years. Now the next issue shows up. The world will go on. And my invitation to you is, can we all be aware of the future? And can we tap into what's required in the future? And with that energy go, okay, and maybe there's a company who provides what will be needed in 5 years. And that's where you can now go, okay, let's do that. There's no need to stop. And as long as you only invest an amount of money that you wouldn't even notice if you lost it, you will be able to even have fun in these sad, dark times that we are going through. And don't buy into the sadness, okay? You don't have to exaggerate and go, oh, cool, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. It is sad. It's horrible what's going on. But you can be the energy of, okay, you not taking action, you not continuing doesn't contribute. You don't have to do a Facebook Live, and go, oh, the world doesn't matter. I take advantage of it and buy all these stocks. Okay, just be a little bit aware of the mainstream, but don't allow it to stop you. Okay, so having said that, you can continue. And you can now really be the brilliance and the awareness that's required. Because the more people who have the point of view, we keep going, the less attention we pay to the sadness and to the insanity of what is going on. Okay, don't ignore it, but don't feed the energy of going, oh my God, it's so horrible. Okay, be interesting point of view and be aware of what's going on. And then you will even have more fun on the international stock market or roller coaster, because the ride wasn't for a long time, there hasn't been such a move on the stock market. So you could as well just enjoy it, use your awareness and keep going. Is there something that showed up for you? Did any one of you panic? And you can go and say, yes, because I lost everything. This is the time to have this conversation. This is why I wanted to have you on this Zoom, to have this. So don't try to be a good student and go, yes, everything is East Joy Glory. While deep inside you go, fuck, I lost it all. Now is the time. Did something show up for you? I read in the thread, I don't know who posted it. Oh, all my stocks are going up. I said, well, brilliant, because there are stocks that are going up. Remember, money cannot be destroyed. It can only be moved sideways. There's always someone who has it all, okay? There's always someone who profits. The question is, are you aware of those companies? Are you aware of where the money goes to? And are you willing to follow the money so you are there where the money goes, so you can kind of jump on that train and still make money while the rest of the world goes into crisis? So who has a question? Who panics? Or who made money? Who already did it?
I didn't panic. I fully expected it to happen just because of the history of the markets, and mine didn't crash terribly. So that's all cool. So I was just really proud of myself that I didn't go there. So that's all.
Good. Yeah, be really proud. I didn't go there. Awesome. This is how you acknowledge, and this is what will make you choose more. There's a question from Heather. What is your take on the utilization of the increased usage of bots used on the investing platforms, how do you think they can affect the pricing, manipulation, etc.? You mean, what do you mean by boots? Do you mean these automatic artificial energy systems that create this buy sell strategy? Do you mean this by? Yeah, so actually, yeah, they control the market. This is why we have the roller coaster. This is why every fucking share goes down, whether or not the company, the product, or the industry is affected by the crisis. It's an algorithm. It was designed to protect people from losing everything. So question, do you work from protecting yourself? And are you here to minimize the losses? Or do you know that the only protection you really have is your awareness, and that you're not here to survive or to limit losses? You're here to thrive, to create, to go beyond. I had a meeting with my banker 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and she also said if Ukraine and Russia really go into war, the market will drop. And then she showed me all the charts of all the portfolios and everything that the bank has. And March 16, 2020, it dropped. Some of the portfolios lost 70% in value. And she said she spent weeks on the phone with panicking customers. And she told all of them, don't panic. The world will go on. It's economies taking a break. And it took the market 6 months to be back, and then in another 6 months the market's doubled. Okay, so it's just taking a dip. The world is not over. Okay. There are some shares. For example, we have a bank in Austria. It's an internet. It's called Raiffeisen International, and 80% of their business they do in the Ukraine and in Russia. They are the leaders. When the Iron Curtain fell, they were the first ones in all the former Eastern Bloc countries. And they have headquarters in Kiev, they have headquarters in Russia, made millions. And now the European community did this SWIFT ban. Okay, nobody is allowed to do business. Well, they have to close their business down. Their stock dropped 85% since last Friday. That's probably a stock I wouldn't buy. Because they are banned from doing business, okay? But that's a bank that has all their income stream coming from doing business in Ukraine and Russia. And all their business is actually closed down by a European resolution that you can't do business anymore with Russia. So it will take them, I'm not sure if they will survive, okay? So I'm not buying their shares. On the other hand, if you get, wait a minute, I will spend 70%. If, I don't know, the politics manage to end this situation soon, before that bank dies, it will go up again. Because this, I call it the sad part of this story is, after a war, because of all the damage, the economy will need everything to repair their countries and to reestablish business relationships and all that stuff. So it is sad, okay? A war is not a fun thing. But once it's over, someone will need to build up these countries again. And it's not bad to make money with this. Okay, there are people who intentionally organize this. These are the techies, okay, they destroy so they can later make money building it. But you buying shares, being aware of what's going on, you're not that, okay? It's not bad. It's not bad to use certain situations to your advantage because you initially didn't create that situation, okay? Just be aware of that. A lot of people say, oh my God, it's so unconscious to invest in cryptocurrency because they need so much storage and energy. You know, there's crypto mining, all these computers. There are countries, they have problems with their electricity networks because so many people buy computers to do crypto mining. So it's unconscious because it's so bad to our environment. Well, have you seen how they actually dig for gold? If you start this conversation, on this on this level, yeah, you better buy a house in the woods and then start hunting and stop living where you are now. Okay, that's not a conversation to have, because I know if all of you have a few millions in your banks in 5 years, the world will turn into a better. And if everyone who has this desire for change is willing to take advantage and become a millionaire, this is how, on a long run, people like Putin will not have a place to be anymore. Okay, this is a long-term project. So don't go into this, activists' point of view, these left-wing extremists who tell you how wrong you are because you take advantage of certain situations. Just tap into the energy vibe. And everyone I know was a conscious millionaire. What would the world be like? And what I actually really love about this crisis, for the first time in history, Switzerland actually stopped their position as neutrality. You know that there are only 2 countries in the world that are neutral. It's Switzerland and Austria. So they have made a commitment, and they have in their constitution that they will not support any war. They will not be in war with anyone. So that also means they can't support anyone. They have to stay neutral. And Switzerland never closed down bank accounts of countries that were in a war situation. Not with Libya, not with Syria, not with Serbia when the Serbian war started. Now they did. And 80% of all the Russian money of those super rich oligarchs is parked in Switzerland. And this is where everybody will turn against Putin, because all the rich Russians who live abroad, who support Putin, have no access to their money. Do you see how powerful money is? And are you actually willing to claim that power and be that power and get, once you have those millions, you are powerful. And you won't turn into Putin, okay? You won't start a war. If there are more conscious millionaires on the planet than techie assholes, then we can talk about change. So don't go into this moral discussion, how bad it is to be aware of what will be required in the future and buying these shares. Okay? Because there's a lot of gaslighting out there, a lot of gaslighting everywhere. I mentioned that in the office today to one of my secretaries. Oh, I'll buy this share. This will go up. And how dare you? It's a war. And all you think about is money. I was like, ooh, learn to shut up. Learn to shut up. So I left again. I said, okay, I'm busy. I'm going. So really, and don't have this conversation with people who can have this conversation. Okay, I'm having it with you. Okay, because I love this group and it's really excited. It's the only group I'm really active in. And go like, oh my god, I need to talk to you. I love it because it's about money and shares. Be aware. Just be clear and honest with yourself, what you're doing and what you want to create on a long run. Okay, Milena, did you have a question?
I had, but I realized we don't have a time, so we can do it another time.
But ask it.
It's just like regarding investments, like at the moment, there are like several wars going on. It's not only one, but like when we look at the situation, like how the stocks are going, like everybody are turned towards this one. So like, how can we be sure like that tomorrow, like it's not, we cannot be sure. I don't know what is my question. Actually, never mind.
But no, thank you for that, because you can't be sure. You can't be sure because you have to do it for the fun of it. So when you go out eating and you go and have some caviar and champagne and it costs you $120, is that considered a lost investment? No, you got the joy out of it. You gifted yourself that moment, that joyful moment. So if you buy shares for the sake of gifting you a joyful moment, where you go, okay, the restaurant won't give you back any of the $125 you spent for the caviar. You ate it, it's gone. If you have that point of view, and don't expect any return, and being questioned and asking the stocks, use your awareness. You can only be sure that whatever choice you make will create greater for you. It's either money or an awareness you got out of it. It has the same value.
Yeah, it was more like how the market is like orientated, but I guess we can again like use the questions. It's now at the moment it's like this, but like the thing is like, what if I cannot verbalize it, but I have it. Never mind.
What if I lose it all? Well, then it's lost. Get to work and create it again. Who cares? You can't listen. And if Fritja is putting in the chat, so this is a very good time to buy. It's always a good time to buy, and it's always a good time to sell, because there is no right time. You cannot buy shares at the right or wrong time. Okay, if you use your awareness, if you function from question, you can only buy at the moment you got a yes. And if you lose all your money, you now know how ignored your awareness, which is brilliant and priceless. So you won't do it again. But if you buy a share and it keeps going down, and in 5 years it triples, well, of course you could have made more, but at least you made a little bit. So why was that wrong? Don't wait for the right time to buy. Follow your knowing. Yes, no, yes, no. And what I do at the moment, I buy shares in tiny little increments. $100 here, $100 there, to play with it, because I also don't know, but I love to play. Gosh, there's this one super penny stock, Armani Gold, and you can buy 1 million shares for $1,000. I was like, fuck, I need this. Because it turns me on to buy 1 million shares. Yeah. And I think, well, gold, everybody will want gold in the future. You know, when in crisis, gold always goes up. So I bought it. So let's see what that choice creates. If that $1,000 is lost, oh dear, who cares? Yadira, you have a question.
And thank you, David, for inviting us to this and having these conversations. Sometimes it's just like I find myself getting like so distracted with all of this and work and like making money, and but what I am aware of is something totally different. So I started this with the real desire of investing, you know, and then I stopped. And I don't know if it's I cannot like get back on to just move on this. I created my account, and then every time I try to go and do some research and things like that, it's just not light. So I don't know how to get back to just keep on creating this. Or maybe I just
are you a research person, or are you a yes no person?
I'm a yes no person.
Don't research.
Okay.
Research is
like,
fun.
it can be, but then after, okay, so I just have to find my way. I don't know.
Hey, I love to research. I'm a nerd. I love to research. That's why I do it.
Okay.
I'm so annoyed. I just go yes, no, and then if I go, it's not a time. No, well, don't do it. Don't pay attention.
Okay, yeah, I'm more of like okay, right now, and it gets done, and then I just like maybe take I don't know, like time, and then after maybe I know it's gonna come back, but I'm like, oh, I just like want to do it, but it's just not light.
So don't do it. When it's not light, don't do it. You have to go, okay, you have to go, is now the time? Yes, no, okay. Trust that you will hear the whisper. Stocks are calling you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And go, okay, cool. I just found out I'm a yes, no person. Good. So don't worry. You will get a yes. You will get the whisper. You will know when to open that portfolio and look into it.
Okay, yeah, just later.
Trust that. You will hear the whispers.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Michelle.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm loving this conversation. I guess it was probably last week or Friday. I was looking at like, okay, so what's going to be impacted by this, and what could I research or look at? And the word that popped into my head was butane. And I knew it was an awareness because for what possible reason would the word butane pop into my head otherwise? And so I started messing around. I ended up investing a bit in a company that does what do you call it? Sea transport of petroleum products from out of Greece. And it has been going up. It's interesting. And also the name of it was Stealth Gas. Who would name their company Stealth Gas, right? So could it be anywhere? It's not a penny stock, but it's only a couple bucks a share. So that has been.
Hey, you like it? It turns you on. So why wouldn't you not?
Oh, right? It's like. It was even like GASS, like. It's like a bunch of like college students sat around and thought up a name of a company or something.
But they probably knew we weren't crazy investors, so they were like jumping out.
Yeah. So, and I also just wanted to say, I'm so grateful because right now I'm playing with a few $100s. So it's not significant to me if it goes away. And yet I never would have started if it hadn't been for what you've been putting out there. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Lotta, you have a question.
Yeah, about getting started with trading. I have looked at different possibilities with trading accounts, and the one which would be like light for me. Then there was like a base amount which you should transfer to getting started. And then I was like, oh, this is not so comfortable amount for me to transfer to the trading account, and it's not the amount that I wouldn't notice if I lost it. So I wonder, like,
oh well, how much does it turn you on to do it anyway?
Yeah.
Did you look for this challenge? So if that goes on, if you find something, then you find out, first of all, go and get to work and make the money, and then do it anyway. Okay, are you avoiding something or are you creating? Am I avoiding? Am I creating? That's the question to be.
Yeah, avoiding, yes.
Well then, hey, you can transfer the money to that trading account, but do you have to buy a single share with the money? What's the minimum? How much do you have to send there?
2,000 euros.
Okay, well, if you send 2,000 euros there, do you have to buy a single share with the full amount, or could you buy, I don't know, 20 different shares?
Yeah, that's actually
money there. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Will this platform, this bank, exist in 5 years? Yes, no.
Yeah. What? First I got like no. Truth.
Yeah, with such a big smile. Yeah, you always get a no when you smile. So is it with Sberbank? Sberbank is a Russian bank that just got under Chapter 11 yesterday because they closed it down. They have their headquarters in Vienna. They're out of.
Actually, Saxo Bank.
Saxo Bank. Okay, well, what do you get? Yes, no. Will it still be there in 5 years?
Yeah.
Good. So transfer the money there. You can always transfer it back.
Yeah.
And then once you have the money there, you can buy, I don't know, buy 20 different shares. You don't have to invest it all. Once you have it on on this account, you still need to buy shares, and then invest 10 euros, and then the maximum amount you can lose is 10. Buy that, and then see how that goes. And if it's still heavy and heavy and heavy, well, then just sell the shares and transfer the money back and go shopping. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Transferring the money to the trading account is not investment. Buying the shares out of the trading account, this is where you start investing. So,
Yeah.
okay.
cool. Yeah, much more lighter. Thank you.
Good. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I hope you got something out of this. And please, we have our 2 threads now. Whatever you find out, let's be in question. What will the world require? Which stock will go up? And not from conclusion, oh, because Putin will close the gas, this means whatever will go up. This is a conclusion. Always question, always question. In worst case, well, then just buy a single share and see how that goes. Okay, that's the best way. Just stop thinking, go more into the yes, no universe. 10 euro, $10, gosh, you can afford it. So go for that. Have fun with it, and please just enjoy the roller coaster. It might get even more turbulent in the next few weeks. Okay, enjoy it, and everything that comes up, we have our thread, we have our backs. Let's keep going. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.